welcome back to It's Just Gems. Make sure you hit the like button as you enter. And I want to share a couple of videos with you regarding Dana White. One would be him answering some questions and basically saying he's going through punishment enough with what he's done, and there'll be no actual punishment coming from the UFC or anything like that. And I'm going to let him tell you. But also I have a video that I want to share. Well, I want to share the audio from Dana White's own mother back in, I think this was 2011, doing an interview because she wrote a book about her son. And she wasn't too pleased with him. But during the interview, she gives some insight into his marriage and alleges that there was more violence going on even back then. On the honeymoon, there was some violence. So all these people caping for Dana and his wife and all of that, saying that this is a one-off incident and defend him, they don't know what they're talking about, according to Dana White's own mother. So I'm going to play both of those videos, and I'll follow up with my commentary.
I mean, like you said, no excuses, full apologies. And I like your statement there that it shouldn't be defended at all. But are there going to be any repercussions? People are saying, he's a big public figure. He's big, charged this big company. Nobody's really talking about it. Are there any repercussions planned from the company or self-imposed repercussions?
Yeah, well, I mean, what should the repercussions be? You tell me. I take 30 days off. How does that hurt me? I mean, I told you guys when we were going through COVID could last 10 years. I could sit it out and, you know what I mean? What would be the problem? It's much like COVID, actually. Me leaving hurts the company, hurts my employees, hurts the fighters. Doesn't hurt me. I could have left in 2016. You know what I mean? I don't know. Do I need to reflect? No, I don't need to reflect. The next morning when I woke up, you know what I mean? I've been against this. I've owned this. I'm telling you that I'm wrong. And but listen, I mean, we've had plenty of discussions internally with Ari, ESPN. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy about this, Neither am I. But it happened. And I have to deal with it. And what is my punishment? Here's my punishment. I got to walk around for however long I live. Is it 10.4 years or is it another 25 years? And I gotta, this is how I'm labeled now. My other punishment is that, I'm sure a lot of people, whether it be media, fighters, friends, acquaintances who had respect for me might not have respect for me now. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life that are way more of a punishment than what? I take a 30-day, 60-day absence? That's not a punishment to me. The punishment is that I did it, and now I have to deal with it. And more importantly, you guys know how I feel about other people's opinions of me. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I know a lot of you. I don't know what you do when you go home. I don't know what you're into. Nobody knows you better than your kids do, okay? My oldest is almost 22. So for 22 years, he's grown up in a house with me and my wife and the rest of our family. They hear and see everything. They know everything, So whatever perceptions people might have about you, nobody knows better than your kids. And as long as my kids know exactly who I am. They know exactly who their mother is. And that's what's important to us. This is a personal family matter that played out in public, and our biggest focus was our kids. You want to talk about people being disappointed? Who's going to be more disappointed than your kids are? And that's what we've really been focusing on. I mean, as far as her and I go, we both apologized. We apologized to our kids, and trying to move forward.
Is there anything moving forward that you think you can do in terms of, you just have such a high-profile position, right? Like in terms of advocacy. I mean, as you said, this is wrong, this is bad. I mean, is there anything that you think this would be a great point to start to, a message against it, supportive domestic violence victims, anything along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, we've created a lot of awareness, This was, and it's not something that I'm trying to, but I've been married to this woman for 27 years. We've known each other for 40. We've been friends for 40 years. We've been married for 27 years, you know, and like I said, anybody who's married knows being married is you know, it's a job. It's something you got to work at every day. Her and I have been through some shit, but we're still together. We have 3 great kids, and, you know, the biggest focus for us is our family. I mean, yeah, I guess it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think about what it's like. I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of awareness, and, you know, I haven't hid from this thing. I haven't ran from it. I've taken it head on, and from day one. I mean, I don't know what else I could do. Sure, if I could help anybody else in this situation. I mean, I said it before, and now I'm saying it after I've done it. You don't ever do it. Don't defend me. Don't anybody defend me. There's no reason to even try to defend me. And I don't want any of our fighters in this position where they feel like they have to, unless they want to come out and say, he's an asshole, or, you know, whatever their feelings are about this. I'm all about free speech, so.
Last thing for me.
Well, that was Dana's response to the backlash. He's not stepping down. He's not taking a break off. He said that's going to punish others. And him and his family dealing with this publicly is enough punishment for Dana. It's never enough punishment for all these black athletes that get caught up and get in trouble. They have to be publicly scolded. They have to discuss it with the NFL, discuss it with victims of domestic violence. They have to discuss it with everybody else. But when you are the president of the UFC, you know, you can say, I'm not doing no punishment. Y'all can leave me alone. Oh, and you can say something if you want to. I'm all for free speech. Yeah, y'all can try that if you want to, UFC fighters. I wouldn't. So, hey, it is what it is. But let you hear what his own mother had to say about him. And then I'll follow up.
Out with him. Our family was very close. We did a lot of things together. Dana, when I first moved back to Boston, he came back and lived with me for a while back there. Even back then, you know, he'd be down at a bar with a friend or something, and he'd call me up and go, Mom, we're having a beer down at, you know, so-and-so's bar. Come on down, have a beer with us. I wrote this book because I don't like the person Dana's become. And the thing that pushed it over the edge for me was when his grandmother got sick and died this summer. His grandmother was one of those grandmothers that he was with a lot. She lived with us for a while. When he would go back east, when we lived in Vegas, he spent time with her back there. So she was sick and dying, and he hadn't spoke to her in 2 years. And he called her up and told her, Graham, I'm going to send my plane to get you. I'm going to bring you back to Vegas to live with us. You're going to have the best medical care money can buy. And then she never heard from him again. So, and that was typical Dana. So I really didn't even think twice about it. But the final straw was when I saw one of her neighbors. And her neighbor asked me what I was doing there. And I said, my mom's sick, and, you know, I'm down here taking care of her. And she said, oh, we thought she was gone. I said, gone where? She said, well, she told us her grandson was coming to get her. She told everybody in the neighborhood that she wouldn't be here because he was coming to get her to take care of her now. So that just sort of pushed the final button for me. And, you know, I was hoping the book, a lot of the stuff might bring him back or make him think about who he's become and what he does to people and the way he behaves. But I don't think it's really had that effect on him.
Now, that grandmother passed away.
Yes.
Did he come to her funeral?
No. We had she was cremated in Florida, and then we had a funeral service for her up in Connecticut. And he never came. He didn't send flowers, card, nothing. Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from him for what he's done for MMA and the UFC. I mean, Dana has a high school education, and that's it. And I think it's pretty amazing the things he's been able to do with MMA and the UFC. He doesn't speak about me very often, you know, and when he does, it's very short and brief. He doesn't like to talk about me. My mom was never around. But he doesn't seem to add to it why I was never around. You know, I really did work like 80, 100 hours a week, so I was able to pick up a lot of money, but that was to pay for everything. If he didn't go to that school, if I didn't work all those hours, he would have never met the Fertittas. That, you know, it's that sort of chain reaction thing. There would be no UFC.
Do you think Dana has used steroids?
I do believe Dana's used steroids. I saw, God, what is he doing? So yeah, it certainly looked like it. I don't know if Dana fears me. Dana's marriage, I guess you could call it, because I am a believer. If you're married, you're married, and that's it. And if you don't want to be, and you want to be out with other people, then leave the person you're with. Don't make a joke of your marriage. But his marriage is a joke.
How so?
Well, everyone knows that he puts Tiger Woods to shame. You know, he has plenty, the ring card girls sleep with him. There's two of them I know for sure, and I don't remember I don't know if I ever knew her name. She was the first ring card girl. I think she used to do the Zions commercials for them too. But I know he was sleeping with her. It used to annoy me. The former ring card girl, Rochelle, he took her out, did a lot of things for her, helped her get into Playboy. She was trying to build a career, and she wanted to go well beyond being a ring card girl for the UFC. So Dana was with her at a number of functions and with friends, and it was pretty obvious that they had a relationship for a while. Yeah, he slept with his sister-in-law in my house, which made me absolutely furious. I mean, he goes after any girl he wants and usually gets them. So his wife they're constantly fighting. The honeymoon, she gave him the worst black eye I've ever seen. He nearly lost his eye. So I don't know if that's his way of handling it, but he's gone overboard with handling it.
Now, all I could think about while listening to that is imagine a black athlete got caught on camera hitting his wife, even though she hit him first, hitting his wife in that manner. Now, Dana White is in UFC and martial arts, so we'll say Floyd Mayweather. He gets on camera, caught on camera doing that. Then his own mother comes out and says all of these things about her son and how bad he is. And not only that, he said it was a one-off incident and his kids know who he is and all of that. But the mother is clearly saying this was years ago. This isn't a new interview she did trying to be relevant by saying, oh, yeah, I saw it a long time ago. No, this was taken from an interview in 2011 where she is saying that Dana White had a black eye on his honeymoon. And the way she said, she mentioned him handling it, how they would fight all the time. To me, that alludes to perhaps both of them fighting just like they were in public. But you don't spill out into the public if you're not already doing that at home. That's not when you decide to show out, is when you're out in public. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, peace.